Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to paint a lionfish. Alright, so first I'm going to draw the outline. I'm using pen, and I recommend that if you're not very comfortable using pen for your drawing, that you use a pencil and then trace over the lines with pen, because you do want the lines to be dark in this particular tutorial. Alright, so that's his body. He's got these two little, I don't really know what they are actually, but these two little shapes that come down. His body tapers off here. And then you want to do his fins. Now notice how I grouped some of the fins together, and I have this one separate a little bit. Basically, you just want a little variation. And he's got fins the other side. He has it at a little bit of an angle, so his fins appear smaller on the further side away from him. Away from you, that is. Alright. I find at this stage it tends to look a little funny. Look better when it's done. Alright, give him a couple square fins up here. And then he has some very spike-like fins. I find that 5 is a pretty good number for the number of fins back here. And he has some very almost translucent fins at the very back of his tail. Okay. Now if you'll notice right here, this little bump here, that's actually where one of his eyes are. And you want a matching eye over there. And lionfish are striped, almost like they should be named zebrafish. Alright, even his fins are striped. Even these little thin spikes at the top. Basically, the whole fish is striped. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do is paint the background. And let me see. Gotta grab my paintbrush. Alright. So, in my watercolor set here, it's got 2 trays. I've got 2 shades of blue and this purple. What I'm going to do is put the blue around him, put the light blue that is, and then the darker blue further out, and then the purple. It's actually easier to do the blue and the purple, and then sort of do the dark blue in between the two. Done this a few times. My first video attempt, I tended to mumble a little bit, so I have to redo it here. And don't be afraid to let your pen bleed a little bit. It's not a disaster. Gives your painting a little bit of character, I suppose. Make sure you paint even down between his little fins. One problem I've noticed, something that I have a little trouble with, is making sure I don't put too dark of a blue, because what I'll do is I'll grab my blue and then paint right down the middle, and sometimes it'll turn out too dark. So that is something to watch for, that you don't do. I have to watch that I don't do that. And basically I'm just painting like an oval shape, roughly oval. You just want to get the blue around your fish. So you notice I did that again. A little bit darker here and a little bit darker here. It's not a disaster, but I do try to avoid doing that too much. Little issue I have. Okay, now I'm going to the purple. And I try to fill most of the page when I'm doing a nice project like this. I either will leave the background blank in a lot of times when I'm practicing, or I like to do the whole page in color. Okay, get that out of the way. So now I've got my light blue and my purple, and I'm going to take my dark blue and it goes in between the two colors. Down at the bottom, and I'll do the same up above. I hope I'm not boring anyone with my lack of... Where did that come from? Well, looks like I've got a little bit of a smudge here. Let's see if I can wipe that out. Okay. That isn't too bad. Sometimes if you do make a mistake like this, you can rub it out with some white, with a very wet brush. It's not going to go away, unfortunately. Well, I will keep painting. So, now that I've got my background mostly done, I'm just going to add some green down at the bottom, indicative of some plant life. And I will do a little more detail down at the bottom later. For now, I'm going back to the fish. And I'm going to bring in some black. Now, I was a little bit surprised when I did my first drawing of this guy, is that he really doesn't have as much color as you would expect. It's mostly black and white, or gray and white, black, gray, and white, and a little bit of brown. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm wetting my brush and I'm drawing the color out so that I don't get too dark of a black. And I'll do the same over here. I'm not sure if you can see, but where the lines from the pen bleed is actually a slight purple color. Okay, now I'm going to add my brown. Now the brown I've got in this set is a reddish brown, which is just perfect for him. Most of his color is actually in his face. And a little touch on his fins. Okay, just a little bit down his back. And I believe he is done. And now I'm coming back down to the bottom here to finish up on this scene. So I'm taking a bit of my darker green, which really isn't very dark in this set. And this is some seaweed. You can do it wavy like grass or branching. Just make sure it's wavy because of the currents. You want to indicate the currents. Alright. And this is done. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.